Alrighty folks, here we go. We got the second row we've done. It went smoothly, as you can see. It's watering pretty well right there. I like that. It's just adjust it, don't turn it on quite as hard. I cut the emitters out of them. So what I'm going to do here, and those run like that. I've already watered the first row. So all in all, success. So what I'm going to do, we're going to run you through one full row, step by step, and just in case, that way there's not as many breaks where I'm going to the store and this and that. So Mr. Cambo is going to help me out. This is seems like the worst part, getting this hose out. Y'all see Cam? All right, buddy, just be careful. It's going to try to kink. We're going to try to keep as many kinks out as we can. You go that way. Yeah, you're going all the way to the end. So I'll get on this side of the row, please. And then go all the way to the end. Hey, easy, you're kinking it. Easy. You got to spin it as you go to get that kink. No, spin it in your hands. Got to get this kink out. Quit pulling it. All right, easy. We can't kink it. We don't need extra holes in it. Alrighty folks, I just want to give you a heads up at how bad we were for the first 6 rows of getting this 1/2 inch poly out. It was kind of embarrassing. Honestly, I didn't figure it out until the last 3 rows that we had. The last full roll of poly I had went flawless. At the end of the day, you just prop it up in a bucket or a tote's what I did, and then as you pull it out, you just give it a twist. As it comes out, it'll come out smooth as butter. But it was a pretty steep learning curve. We finally got it. But at the end of the day, what do they say? It's no hill for a climber. Now what we're going to do is go through step by step how to get this installed from start to finish on one row. That way there's not so many cuts for me going to the store and having to figure all this out. So as you can see, we've pulled our 1/2 inch poly up. We want to get it reasonably straight. It's kind of hard to unroll. You got to keep twisting it so you don't kink it. Works a lot better when it's warm outside. As you can see, here's a kink, I believe. This stuff kinks too hard. You get a hole. Usually they flatten out. What we want to do to get those out is we want to go ahead and get this cut. If we get this cut, it'll release the tension off of that line. Should be plenty about there. Now as you'll see, the pressure will come off that line. Now we'll grab our tools. We've already cut up the crossovers, and we've already connected all of the 90-degree 3/4 to 1/2 inch PEX fittings there. That way we wouldn't have to continuously change out the head of the PEX tool. So we'll need that and that. First we need to come down. We got to stake what we've got.
We get the line situated, then we'll pipe to the finished line. That's what I like to do though. We're gonna need one of these guys. This is a compression stop. It's for the barb connectors. Just 1/2 inch goes in. And then in the winter I can undo it, open it up, then open it up at the swivel back behind us at the valve, and then we can bleed these lines. So if the water's in the 1/2 inch lines, most likely this will freeze and bust. So every year in the winter we're going to have to basically winterize it. So here we go. Little trick of the trade. A little slobber goes a long way. Pop this cap off. Once you get it started, it's a little easier. Alright, now once you get it started, you just can wiggle it back and forth like that. There may be a better way to do that. I'm sure there probably is, but that is what I have come to conclude is my best and favorite way to do it. Upper line, we want to give a little slack as we talk in case we need expansion for some reason down the road. So we're going to stick these in. A little extra slack here and a little extra slack at the end. See here, go to there. Now as we go, we just kind of get it in a line. Go 2, if I've got enough at least. Otherwise I'll have to get some more. And I'm gonna take black plastic, 4 mil plastic, and cut it in about a 1 foot wide strip, and we'll go under the line, because my biggest concern is we're not trying to weed eat around this whole water line, and there's not a great way to do it with it above ground. If I run over it, it's going to leak. If I weed eat it, it's going to leak. So what I'm going to do is put a 1 foot piece of 4 mil plastic under each line between each ring of mulch. And that, I'll end up putting mulch on top of it, and that'll look good, and it'll keep the weeds from growing up underneath there. So I think all in all, so far at least, that's the best solution I have come up with. I could sleeve it with PVC. That's a substantial amount of PVC, and I'm not really trying to do that. Wow. Man, a little bear. Alright, see, we ended up getting a little more slack than we needed, but that's okay. Something like that. Now as we're doing this, I'm watering the prior row. As I go, I'll keep watering the row that I finished. And then when I get completed, try to decide whether or not, or should I say how many rows I'll be able to water at once is really the question. I mean, it's not a big deal if you can just water, 2, 3. But if you can water them all at once, knock out 10 to 13 rows at one time, I'd be happy about that. I wouldn't have to come out, turn them on a couple at a time. So here, we're going to take our crossover. We're going to need 2 1/2-inch coupling sleeves. All this is PEX up. And then we're going to need Here's the 1/2 inch to female swivel. So what I like to do is kind of straighten this up best you can. Like so. You can really go about this any way you want. 3 pumps is plenty good on that. I like to put this side on first. Then we'll go do the opposite side. Like so. Hoping I'm getting all this in view. Now once we do that, that goes into that. And we need let's see. They hide. There they are. Prefer not to use unopened pack because I am real good at losing stuff. Probably the best I know, really. So this, my friends, will go, try to get the camera angle in. It's going to go in like that. Once that is complete, we realize that what we didn't do and should have is we forgot our slack in the end row. And remember, I always say put some slack in it on the end row. So we'll go back to here, basically back to there, and then we'll jump it over here. Like I said, you don't need a whole lot. Usually all you need the slack for is if you've got to cut a fitting out. It just keeps you from adding extra pipe. You can always, if you've got extra, you don't have to double splice. So we'll go to there. Like so. That. What's up, Neo? Outside of that extra slack there, that one don't look bad. All right. Now, the little tedious part. We'll need 6 of these guys. Now these are the Rainbird 1/4 inch barbed couplings. This is what's going to get us to the emitter line. Some little scissors here. That's all we need since we're not using the drippers. There's the boss over there. She must have wanted to get some pollen today. Decided to come out and help out weeding. That's extremely helpful. Extremely helpful. I can get the majority of these lines in. That way I can be at ease with the watering and pick up some of my other hobbies again. Right now this one's got me tied up, so we'll go one here, We go into that side. And then I forgot the tool, the punch tool. So you gotta have a little punch tool. Alrighty folks, we're back with the tool. Just about 125 steps, I think, is what that boils down to. Every time I forget something on the other side. So there we go. You just jam that thing in there after you punch it. Normally our emitters went on here. We decided that wasn't the best resolution, so we did it a little different. Now we want to bury this real good though. It'll look as nice and tidy as we can. It does look like an underground spring, nearly like that. So, essentially that's what we're going to do 5 more times. And turn the water on. Make sure it bleeds out correctly. Start watering again. Same thing. And remember, we're always working. You always want to work, or should I say splice into your line. We spoke about this earlier in a different video. But you always want to splice into your line somewhere on the back side of the run. I'll explain why again. That's in there. See, they go in fairly easy. They're definitely not pressure couplings, but what can you expect from something like that? Technology at its finest. So there we go. 2 down, 4 left. I think I just might have heard a grunt out of the boss lady over there. We didn't put any stakes in here. I'll have to come back and stake this one. It's too crooked for my liking. There, punch through, just like so. Same thing over and over and over. So see, once you get the hang of it, it goes a lot quicker. Still not lightning fast by no means. But nothing is these days, nothing is. And you want to make sure and get it. You want to make sure and get it correct if you can the first time, so we don't have to come back and address it down the road. Leave our tool. What's the old saying? an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. Is that what it is? Basically like saying measure twice, cut once. Cover him up. Good little spot. It's a good one there. 2 down, folks. Or 2 left, should we say. Don't forget the tool. Got to kind of bubble it out. They make a tool, makes it easier, but I don't know. If you don't do it a lot, I don't see the need in buying a special tool. It kind of holds its shape and presses, but when you do it with your just the punch tool, you kind of want to create an oval with the pipe rather than, you know, squeezing it all on one side and it collapsing and then you punch through the other side. I nearly done that on the first one. Got lucky. Now we don't want that mulch there. There we go. Keep that down as much as possible. One down, or one left, and we can turn it back on. So I squeeze that and then poke. That way you don't push through the back. Get in there. Get out of there. Get out of here. Alrighty, folks. That is the 6th one on the row and final one. Put this stuff back up. Give it a try. So we don't want to turn it on too hard. It's going to take a minute. So there we go. As you can see here, I mean, that's really about perfect. Could have not wasted my money on those drip emitters. Coming out as hard as I need it to. This one's still not pressurized up yet. So from here up, still filling up. Here's our stakes that we forgot. So about 140 feet of half-inch distribution lines, what we're working with here. So it takes it a little bit to fill up. Should be getting water. See, there's no water up here yet. So see, we're starting to fill up in this one. And that's the best type of watering. That's one reason I'm doing this, is for the efficiency of watering. If I've got a sprinkler system or something crazy, water with a hose, think about all the water that you lose. So, you know, if you're having to water these things, you don't want to spend any more money on it than you have to. So you want to be as efficient as possible. That was the idea. So if that one should be good, then this one will be good. And see, I can adjust that flow as necessary, but that's going to be just about perfect, folks. So see, that just goes to show sometimes you don't really know what's going on, and you can either try to learn it and do it yourself, or just duck your head and run away from it. Hire somebody in to do it. Usually just takes a little bit of looking around, doing a little research, and then, you know, putting the elbow grease out. That's the main thing, is putting the elbow grease out. So folks, I'll update you. Here's the front. So here's the first one right off the valve. You can see that's about how all of them will be. So I think that's just about perfect. I mean, couldn't be more happy about that. So I'll catch up with y'all. Keep your eye out. I'll give you a summary when I get all the lines in, and we'll see what a full watering setup looks like.